Vincent Kompany has just finished 19th in the Premier League, but now he has already headed off to join the second biggest club in the world. Did Bayern see something in Kompany? Or are they merely desperate with all the rejections they have faced as of late? Hello, welcome to my channel, and today, of course, we are talking about Vincent Kompany going to Bayern München. And before I talk about Bayern itself, I want to talk about Vincent Kompany's managerial career. So, of course, Burnley is not his first job. His first job was Anderlecht. And Anderlecht, a very different situation to Burnley. At Anderlecht, Vincent Kompany had good players relative to the rest of the league, but he failed to win. And that's crucial. When Kompany left, you can point out the fact that Anderlecht finished 8th or something like that, which not good, but what you can't ignore is after Kompany left, so did the best players at Anderlecht. So you can point out that Anderlecht finished rather low after Kompany left. That is a poor equivalence to make. Kompany left that club in disarray, took away its best players, and then you're gonna say, oh well, look, they finished lower. No. The truth is, Kompany finished to win anything at Anderlecht. He gave us, Club Brugge, 2 league titles on a silver platter. 3 if you include his player manager career. I always find that stupid. He was not good at Anderlecht, but he wasn't terrible either. That is why he got the Burnley job. Once he got to Burnley, he actually had a reasonable budget for a club in the championship at that time, but also for a club getting promoted. His budget was still reasonable. But at Burnley, while he was dominant in the championship, he always had better players, or mostly had better players, than the teams around him. His squad was superior to the rest of the championship. So while what he did in the championship was impressive, his team was still a notch above the rest of the teams in the championship. Once Kompany reached the Premier League, he failed, and it's no other way to call it. It was utter failure. He finished below Luton Town. He finished below Nottingham Forest, who was deducted points, and he finished below Everton, who was deducted points. Now you can say Everton, they would have been 11th or 10th or something like that if they weren't deducted any points. So that's not fair. Okay, alright, I'll give you that. He still finished below Luton Town, and he finished below Nottingham Forest. He utterly failed in the Premier League. He was far too naive. He played in a way that simply doesn't work when your players are not superior. And what he showed is that he did not have an understanding, that he did not have a keen understanding of the limits of his players. That is a huge red flag for a manager. And he did not only show this as a Burnley manager, he also showed this when he was Anderlecht manager. And I actually watched the Belgian League. There are a lot of people who waffle out there who don't actually watch the Belgian League. So for anyone who wants to say Kompany was great at Anderlecht, you didn't watch the Belgian League. Shut up. What he did for Anderlecht was he made a team perform exactly as they should. But at big moments, he failed to get the best out of his players. And that is because he overestimates his own players at times, and he underestimates them at other times. He simply is incapable of accurately grasping players' their abilities. Now, that's something that comes with experience for most managers. You have geniuses like Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, Alex Ferguson, but calling Vincent Kompany a bad manager because he's not a genius, that's unfair, obviously. What he did, however, portray at Burnley is that he still has not learned this skill, because against Premier League teams, he tried to play a style of football that was simply impossible for his players to manage against these teams with better players. He failed to survive, and he failed to get the best out of his players. His playstyle was naive, it was coming short, and it was blatantly copying from Pep Guardiola. There was no creativity in it, whereas Pep's playstyle It originates from Johan Cruyff. It has a lot of innovation. Vincent Kompany merely copies from his former manager. He does not innovate. And when he innovates, it's a very little. Vincent Kompany has shown inability to adapt so far as a manager. Now, it was his first Premier League season. If he came back to the Premier League with Burnley, got them promoted again, came back and survived, that would be a different story. And if he didn't survive, that would also be a different story. If he came back, he could show, I have learned my lesson. I was naive. I am a good manager. He can show that he gained experience. He can show that he learned something. But that is not what Vincent Kompany is opting for. He seems to be weighing his chances with going to Bayern München. The Bayern situation is very similar to that of Anderlecht. Kompany will enjoy a good squad compared to the rest of the league, but it will not be utterly superior, unless Leverkusen's squad completely falls apart, but we can't bet on stuff like that happening. So, if the status quo remains, Kompany will go to the Bundesliga, and he will have a squad of similar quality relative to the rest of the league, maybe a bit better than he did with Anderlecht. He has not proven that he has progress whatsoever. So why would he go to Bayern München? Is he going to learn at Bayern? He's throwing himself to the wolves. The Bayern fans aren't as forgiving as Manchester United fans and as Arsenal fans. While Premier League clubs have very weak mentalities, these real clubs, these top-level clubs, they have very strong mentalities. Either you win or you're gone. That's why they have so many Champions Leagues. This club will not accept Vincent Kompany if he does not perform in his first season. There is no process in these leagues. Either you win in your first year or you are gone. That's all there is to it. So I do not quite understand why Kompany is deciding to throw himself at the wolves. Now, I should mention, it is not confirmed yet that he is going to Bayern. It is very, very likely. If Kompany is to go to Bayern München and he finishes top 4, that is not good enough for Bayern München. They will not want him. Either you have to finish second and win a trophy. Those are the requirements for Bayern München. Vincent Kompany, I'm sorry that I say this, but you are a former Manchester City legend. You are clearly too inexperienced as a manager to be taking up jobs like this. What Kompany should instead do is go or stay at Burnley, go back up to the Premier League, and get experience in the Premier League again. Survive the Premier League this time. Show that you have progressed. But that is not what Kompany is doing. He is running away from his failure. He does not want to stay at Burnley. He wants to get out. He wants to prove, I am that guy. But he does not want to prove that he has learned from his failures. He does not want to prove, I am a Burnley manager who failed. Because that is what he would be doing if he was in the Championship. He does not want to do that. In essence, Kompany is scared of accepting his failures. That is what I am seeing from him. That is why he ran away from Anderlecht. He did that at Anderlecht all the time. He blamed other circumstances for his failings. Now, he was ultimately sacked from Anderlecht, but constantly he blamed circumstances for his failure. Equally, now he is running away from his failure. He doesn't want the championship. This suggests to me an inability to take responsibility for his failures. To me, this makes Vincent Kompany worthless as a manager unless he learns to get past this. If he goes to the Bundesliga, I expect nothing from him. He will fail. He will get top 4, but for Bayern München, that is failure. Tell me what you think down below, because quite frankly, I do not see one way that this is a good deal for Vincent Kompany. So tell me down below what you think about Vincent Kompany going to Bayern, and give a like and subscribe to the video, and I'll see you on the next one.